Tried it. It's just too hectic, and I don't think it's quite the right time to do it either because it's not. It's too early for Americans and it's too late for Australians, so there's no sweet spot. So I'm gonna stick to the mornings. The way this is gonna work though is that if baby wakes up, I finish the stream. That's basically how it's gonna work. So I should have around an hour at least or 2 hours between naps and see how we go. But that's how it's going to work because my wife has officially started back at work today, and I'm the only person to take care of her. So that's how it's going to go. We're going to continue on with this, and I'm going to keep on testing out this tablet, the 16 Pro, the Pro 16 Gen 2. Yes, hey on, dude. Welcome, and welcome to the stream for those who haven't been here before. This is all about creating films in Blender. So, let's get going. So I want to create a T-pose sort of style image for this one. I'm kind of happy with the silliness of this particular character. So I'm going to just move on to doing the rest. So I'm not going to be too picky about these characters going forward because I'm on a finite budget in terms of how much time I can spend on these things. Because I really want to get as many characters done before the end of October if I can. And we'll see how we go from there. So I'm just going to merge that together and copy that into its own new page. So it's time to create a nice T-pose, I reckon. Now you can see here just how bright the white gets in the background. So I'm just going to bring that down a tad as well. All right, let's do it. So there we go for the reference. Ah, fuck. For the image, bring it down. There we go. That'll do. So I'm just going to create the T-pose for this. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I know, right? Looking pretty cool. Let me just open up my browser as well. Just need to create something. All right, sweet. How's everyone going this week? By the way, how's the week? How's the weekend? Ours is pretty chill. It's good. It's nice to be out and about. The weather's pretty shit today, so just gonna be spending a lot of time with yeah, the baby and taking it easy. Easy-ish. I got a lot to do actually. All right, cool. And if anyone's on Twitch, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. All right, cool. So let's get started. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn on symmetry inside of Photoshop. This little button up here. That should allow us to get started like so. I got my navigator open so I can see top down what's going on. And just go to a black brush to move on. Yes, 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 go away. Stupid. All right, cool. New line work, and let's get going. So hopefully I can see what I'm doing. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Yeah, this will be officially my time. I think I'm gonna make a. I don't know if I make an official video about this, but basically, I'm officially, I guess you can say, turning myself from being a 3D freelancer into more of a filmmaker. That'd be the best way of putting it, because I am taking on the stay-at-home duties for 50% of the week. So 3 days a week, I'll be playing stay-at-home dad. So the only time I can actually work on things is when she's sleeping or at nighttime. So there's no room for commission work anymore, or even just general freelance work. So basically, it means that the only thing I can dedicate myself to is this stuff, making content, making films. So if you want to support what I do, please do so through either Patreon or through just even super chats like the ones we have here, or just super likes. It'd be great. Absolutely life-saving. Yeah, nice. Yeah, fair enough. end contract for my normal job. Okay, interesting. So you're gonna go all in. You're doing you're doing like you're doing the start of what I did, not the end, like I am. I still have my first. What does it say? The little heart icons hiding the word. Oh, so I need to turn that off for now. Sorry about that. All right, cool. So what I'm doing here is working on the T-pose. And basically what I want to do is just block out those shapes. How do you balance working along doing, well, right now, right now it's kind of difficult. So in terms of balancing work with family and stuff, that's going through a big shift at the moment. So literally today, my wife has begun her back to work. So basically, what happens now is that I'll be teaching 2 days a week in real world, and then the other 3 days a week I'll be doing stay-at-home duties, which is going to be kind of tricky to do this sort of stuff. But basically, the idea is that I just have to find time where I can. So whether that's at nighttime or during the day when she's napping, in between cleaning the house and stuff, then I'll do it. So this is probably the only best time where it's actually consistent. So the mornings, like 9 a.m. to 11, literally 9 a.m. to 11, is the only consistent thing that she does is nap between 11 or 9 and 11. So basically that means that I can work on this sort of stuff relatively with confidence. Whereas any other time of the day, it's pretty much you never know. So yeah, and then yeah, the afternoon will have to be spent just like cleaning the house and stuff and getting dinner ready and stuff. So the idea is to just get as much done in the mornings as I can. And then in the evenings, I'll probably work on video production if I can on the Mondays to Wednesdays. And then Thursday, Friday, I'll be teaching and no work during that time in the evening. So that's basically how it's going to go. And then in the weekends, it's off limits. No work, no nothing, no not even Discord really. If I have to, but yeah, that's how it's got to go. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, it's actually kind of awesome to be able to do this. Like it's gonna be really nice to be able to uh take care of my daughter without really worrying about too much about work, which is pretty cool. Now this feels a little bit low, so I'm gonna bring this up. So what I'm doing here, for those who are just arriving, I'm doing the A pose or the model sheet for this character. So I'm going to actually sculpt this character as part of the review for this product. That's the plan for everything that I do in terms of product reviews, is that I want to do a practical test. So not just like a few sketches here and there, like true practical test to see whether it's actually a good product or not. I wouldn't call it easy life, dude. It's actually quite difficult. Yeah, I do want to make a full tutorial on that. I think I'll get to that once I get these models done. And yeah, I've always wanted to do a full animation tutorial series, or at least topics on animation. So the way this is going to work probably is that I will probably I won't do a series on animation. I'll probably do like random videos on things like because I found that like when you do a series, the expectation is that you got to have everything done every single time. Whereas if I just do little chunks here and there, it will make it a lot easier to do like random topics on like certain kinds of animation, whether it's facial expressions, blinking, and stuff like that. And then also of course just general animation stuff. So I'll probably do some really more interesting sort of kind of topics like that to sort of break it up from the other kind of animation tutorials you see out there. All right. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Oops. All right. All right, cool. So just to get a top-down view, I basically just want to get the proportions right. I'm 36 through everything. Been through everything you are now twice now. Oh yeah, that's really, damn, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, exactly right. So it's tough. So yeah, we really want to try and make it work with that in that regard. Like my wife really wants to work. Her job is technically more important than mine, I reckon, on just on a societal level. So yeah, I'm happy for her to go back to work. I'm actually quite excited for her. And she will be contributing to this channel, mind you, in some way. You'll see in about a week or so. You'll see some really cool stuff. All right, just so you know, she's not just going to be someone I mentioned. So she will be contributing in some way. And I'll show you that in a few weeks. All right, cool. So what I'm trying to do is again just trying to get those proportions in there, just blocking out the shapes that I need for this to look all right. All right, cool. Always forget which ankle is first, as always. Outer ankle is lower. No, inner no. Outer ankle is lower. I'm horrible. I'm a horrible person at anatomy. Tattoos, yeah, that's for the characters, but a little bit more than that in terms of artwork. So we'll see. You'll see in a few weeks. Hopefully next week actually, because Halloween's around the corner. So all right, cool. All right, just getting this in there. All right. She may be able to draw. If that makes sense, she will be. She does know how to draw. She does know how to draw. She's a really good artist. Yeah, hit the like, guys. I know it's not the most 3D-ish thing today, so but it's still good to do, and I need to get it done anyway. So I don't know if I'm gonna bother with the side view because again, just time constraints more than anything else. So I just really want to get a general idea of proportion here. Oh, that's a bit long. It's a bit. If you're ever wondering whether or not your arms are too long, just draw the arm as you see fit. And also the waist is usually where the elbow is. Oops, shit. The waist is usually where the elbow is, like here. And then your forearm will come down to around here on the hip, and then your hand will sort of hit there. So you can also sort of get it on the indication of that too, that way. All right. So I got to bulk her up too, mind you. Now in this case, I might actually do something a little bit different with the hand just to get a sense of proper scale. I'm just going to do it sideways. So palms out. Yeah, I got a mirror right next to me in my room, so in my office, so it makes it a lot easier. This will make it easier for me to sort of get an idea of the model as well. All right, cool. That's better. And then just 1, 2, 3. I know it's weird. I'm just doing really simple hand mittens at the moment, but it will make sense. That looks all right. Cool. Now you can see here, I think the arms are looking too long. They're probably too long. I always make that mistake of the arms either being too long or too short. So the actual simple solution is to just test it out. And that's way too long. See? They should be like that. Like that. There we go. Bring that back up. So there's the actual proportion. Yeah, maybe a little bit longer. Like that should be okay. Yep, there we go. So I'll erase the other arm and then I'll just do a fresh sketch on top of the other one. That's the only thing I hate about the mirroring tools in most software is that they don't work with doesn't work with editing, which is shit, you know. Fuck. It works with erasers. But yeah, not with not with editing, which is a bit of a shame, honestly. It should be more dynamic than that. All right. Just a purity boy, not a something thing. I can't even see the comment. Sorry. Let me just stretch that out. I'm gonna open up the YouTubes. All right, cool. Not an artist thing. Yeah. True. All right. Analytics. Sorry, I'm just gonna turn on our thing before I move on. Some things just don't turn on automatically in YouTube, which is a real pain. All right, cool. All right, so we got the hands on here. That's working fine. So let's get this right on the road. Let's just mirror this out. Good morning. Thank you for joining, Sherman. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just quickly just trace over this one with the mirroring turned on. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just gives me a sense that it's all kind of coming together. All right, that'll do for now. All right. So that looks a little bit better. Now her shoulders are looking a little bit small there because she has a really wide shoulders. So I'm going to bulk her up. And now we can start to sort of work out the rest here. So I'm going to bring this down in opacity and start to play with those proportions a little bit more because she is meant to be pretty bulky. So something like that looks a bit better. And going into that. So she's meant to be really quite voluptuous as well. And then that, her bra or bikini or thing can come around like this onto her traps. So onto her shoulders, they will sit here. Like that. That looks a bit better. So, and then into her neck muscles. There we go. That looks a bit better. Yeah, something like that. All right, cool. So this is what I mean by blocking out like those key things, the things that make it like a lot easier to work with. Like once you've got those early blockings, you can start to add the right kind of detail in the right spots pretty quick. So like that. There we go. She's almost like meant to have a sort of almost like a bodybuilder-esque physique there in this one. So let's just clean that up a little bit. Once the thumbnail starts to update with this, I guess it would maybe the views would increase. So there we go. That looks a bit better. And then she gets those abs in there. That looks a lot better. How many seconds should I make my animations that I use to practice? I was thinking of doing time. Yeah, I'd say 5 seconds would be enough. 5 seconds is a lot. It's still a lot of time, even for practice, honestly. So, yeah, 5 seconds for every 2 weeks, I would recommend. Probably that'd be a good ballpark to start with, for sure. I reckon that would be fine, actually. Yeah. There we go. I think that's looking pretty cool. What do you guys think? You draw really well. Would a stick figure be as helpful for those with lackluster? I'd say even for most basic of stuff, any sort of sketch would probably be useful. Any sort of sketch would be useful for planning something, whether it's a storyboard or a character design or whatever. Yeah, any sort of sketch that helps you sort of realize your imagination in some regard, whether it's good or bad, doesn't really matter. As long as it like helps to confirm whether something is going to work for you. I think that's the main thing I'd take home from any sort of these sketches, I guess you can say. So you see how that much better that looks already? Just getting those early blockings done. Suddenly these things are starting to feel a little bit better. Now my anatomy skills aren't the best, just so you know. Yeah, they can just be scribbles for sure. Oh, look at them calves. Calves, calves, calves. So I'm trying to keep the geometric ideas behind Black Curtain as well in the character design. So um, the idea for all my characters, even with the original Black Curtain animation, is relatively geometric and stylized in a certain degree. So the idea is that like there should be like these sort of hard angles in certain areas of the bodies that I create, but obviously it depends on what's possible. But we'll see. That's a bit too. That's a bit too much. I think let's just go with that. Yeah, that's better. I have dyslexia. Most things for me appear perfectly in my head, but mess it up when I go back to work. Yeah, that's fair enough. But I'm sure you can not push through it, but more like if you adapt, I guess. I'm sure it works out in the end. I know a few people who have dyslexia and they've done really well at university, for instance. Oh, cheers. Ah, silly brush. There we go. All right. So there we go. Cool. What would Alice in Wonderland look like if I made the movie? I don't know, man. Like, that's a good question, I suppose. I see more bonkers than what you see on like in terms of just it probably look a little bit darker than the ones you see lately in terms of the Tim Burton stuff, which is kind of crazy, but in a weird CG way. I think I'd be more like just a bit more macabre, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, give me a second. I'm just gonna answer a call. And we're back. Sorry, I had to take a call. My mother-in-law is coming by to help out during the day as well, so that helps as well. um, yeah. Sorry, where are we at? Stick figure help you nail down the proportions, but you'll have to make your up volume. Yeah, yeah, you can do that too. So like all kinds of stuff that will help with breaking down your models. So as you can see here, I'm just starting with basic geometry, and then I sort of work my way into it. So she's meant to be a lot bulkier than the last one I drew. So there's that. So as for her hands, I want to keep things relatively feminine. So she's not going to have super blocky hands like the other character. So that's why I sort of wanted to block out those ideas as well. And also just to get the length of the fingers to look kind of correct. There you go. I think that looks all right. Oh, thank you. That'd be really cool to be able to. I might. It there would be a potential to do some sort of fun artwork challenge for myself, maybe with a YouTube video to like sort of imagine a certain scene from it. That'd be kind of cool to do. So, so what do I like? Like you may notice that I don't really do fan art. I don't really do fan art videos because I like to dedicate my creative time to creating something original, right? but there's nothing stopping me from like one of the things I do enjoy doing is adapting written descriptions rather than like straight up fan art to see how I can make it come to life. So that could be something that could be a cool challenge to do for just a YouTube video or something like that. So if Alice in Wonderland is up there, I'll adapt one of those. That'd be pretty cool. That's a pretty cool video challenge, actually. I might actually think about doing that. The Big Les Show. I think it's really cool. I haven't watched much of it, but I think it's kind of. I used to watch it a little bit here and there in the background, but it's pretty crazy. I'm pretty proud that it's actually really like quite popular on the internet. Like the fact that it's actually an internet show, it's quite a bit of an inspiration, honestly, in some ways, to be able to be successful without the need for a television like studio to pick it up or anything like that. That's pretty cool in of itself. If that makes sense. So yeah, and it's just weird and bonkers and very Australian in a way. Yeah, for sure. I'd rather adapt from the written word than adapt from another movie or something like that. Like nothing really It doesn't. It's not very interesting to me to sort of do a fan art of something that already exists, especially when all that good work has been taken into account by other artists. And I feel like, yeah, fan art's cool, but it's sort of like, yeah, but the artist already did it better. It's like my adaptation won't be any much better than the original art that it was inspired from. So that's where I could have sit on fan art. So yeah, adapting from like a description or written word would be really cool to do, honestly. All right, cool. So we're getting the mask in there now. What do you guys think of the bulk? I think the bulk is looking pretty good. Ah, cheers. Yeah, no, right? Showman keep pushing it. Yeah, yeah. So the only problem with 3D in general is just that like the only problem with 3D is that how long it takes to produce stuff, unfortunately. So just adding some like area for the strap at the top here. And then yeah, that looks a lot better. All right, sweet. So here is when we can add those weird sticks. Like that. There we go. And I'll worry about like the details there. I don't really care about like getting those details to be exact in the actual um, sketch here because I'll have to adapt it anyway in inside of Blender. So I'll just do this first. And then do the braid. I can draw the braid properly at least, which is pretty simple. 1, 2. I think it's pretty simple. Maybe I just forgot it. It looks good. She's big without being too big, still muscular. Yeah, I want it to still feel like feminine. So there we go. That's pretty fun. And pretty soon after this, I can probably get on to doing the 3D sculpt or doing the blockings, which is really cool. And again, I probably have to get my wife to design the tattoos again because I want it to be pretty fun and silly. The one thing I might add to her though would be like some sort of shirt, maybe. All right, so that's just for her pants. So I'm just gonna start doing her fishnets. And the fishnets, again, they don't have to be perfect because I'm going to do it properly in Blender. And I'll probably end up doing it with just texture maps, honestly. Although there is a way to do it with physical textures as well, which is a pretty neat trick, I reckon. I think I did that with my early Black Curtain concepts as well. Sweet. So as for the rips, I'm going to turn off the symmetry. Now, I will say that so far, this tablet has been so good. Like, I love it. It's such a good tablet. I think it's like, it's up there with one of the best I've used, to be fair. So it's really coming up good. And the smoothness of it all is just amazing. So these are meant to be tears. In the fabric. Oh, thanks. Cheers. Appreciate it. But she's coming up really good. Ah, that's how I want it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Sweet. I'm feeling good about this now. What do you guys think so far? Yeah, that's looking pretty sweet. Um, yeah, always never underestimate the strength of a shoulder, like of having good shoulders in your designs, right? Have like if you have strong shoulders in your designs, it makes the character feel strong. It's always the same with even in body in like just working out as well. Shoulders define your silhouette pretty strongly, especially in the front. They define it really strongly. So I really want to pump those up. And again, same with the arms. Now I'm actually am tempted to do a side view, but I think for the sake of brevity, I will still just focus on the front because I can get the shape looking right in the blocking stage pretty quickly. That looks really cool. All right, let's get the boots in there. Ah, shit, I gotta save this. Holy shit. Um, let's do concept art. Is that where I put it? Characters? Yeah, I think that's where I put it. Just making sure I didn't put it there as well. No, all right, cool. Let's just put that inside of this one and call it model sheet. Cool. So now what's left is just the shoes. Now with this one, I'm not planning on like doing the feet or anything like that either. So yeah, always save, of course. So I actually might bulk up her forearms, by the way. But for now, let's just get those boots in there. There we go. Now again, they're meant to be pretty chunky. So we're just trying to go ahead and really bulk up that and then put in some sort of heel over here. Now I'm just trying to get perspective in there. It's not perfect, but it will do. Again, it will do for the concept. And then let's get some stripe in there as well. Something like that. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Sweet. As for other things, I might actually put some piercings on her chest here. That would be kind of cool. Because then I can sort of, yeah, do something stupid like that. That's pretty fun. I'm going to fix up that clavicle a little bit. There we go. Cool. All right. Are you doing a simple side pose? I actually don't know. What do you guys think? Yes or no for the side pose? Should I do side pose? I can do side pose. Because I feel like maybe it might help me. But I really like that so far. That's looking pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's do it. Let's just do a quick little side pose. Now let's just grab this. It's just an order of magnitude in terms of like transparency. So I'm going to save this. Let's do front on the label there. And then we can bring that down in opacity. And then scale, then sort of do a line up. So what we're going to do is firstly, let's grab Photoshop's guides and sort of work out the guides of where the main areas of interest are. So this is how I usually work. Yeah, an outline would be enough. So like those sort of get the areas where I want the line up to be. So that's there. That's where the elbows are. That's where the middle of the chest is. That's where the hand, wrist is ish. Or I can do the thumb there maybe. Just do the wrist there. Crotch. In this case, it actually would have been quite useful to do a back view actually because of her butt, because it's going to be quite firm. It has to be kind of well defined, but that's all right. Let's just turn off snapping to guides. That's turned off. That's great. Good morning. Good evening. Padavarkan. Is it Pavadarkan? Pavadarkan. Good morning. All right, so I got my side there. Let's lock those guides. Can I lock them in Photoshop? I can't remember. View, guides, lock guides. Yep. And then inside the front side view, it'd be something like, actually, it's actually be quite useful to have a side view. Let's just turn off the symmetry. And then let's try and figure out our shapes. So starting with this, because it will have to have a bit of a nose going on there. Yeah, it actually does make a difference. So I'm going to go like glasses, starting first. And then we want the nose to be ticking up like this. And then we got the chin. And it kind of comes into the glasses like so. And then we have this going on. Yeah, this actually would be useful to do. So it actually is worth doing. Good morning, everyone. Man's got curls. All right, cool. Sorry, I'm looking at the comments as they come through. Good morning, Block Bell, by the way. Welcome. Appreciate the chats. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to shoot them this way. So I'm also just going to do a rough sort of lining up. You've done nothing for an hour. That's all right. All right, cool. Going into the hair. I kind of need to do two straps because I've got two straps going around the head. I need to sort of figure out what her size of her skull is. Okay, that's looking pretty sweet. It's also worth noting that in the sort of logic of this thing that I make, the ears are also covered up as well. So the ears, every orifice on the face is at least cleared, covered. All right, there's rules to this thing for a reason, which I'll talk about in the future. If I was to make a world building video overview of Black Curtain, what would you guys think about that? Like just explain the world. Cheers, thank you. Not yet. Though, Alex Mighty, I don't know if you've seen my recent video. My full workflow is on that. Yes. For Block Bell, yes, this will be modeled 100% in Blender, and then I'll feature it in a review video for this tablet as well. So the tablet I'm working on, I'm going to feature it in the review. Let's get that in there. That feels pretty good so far. Yeah, so by the way, Alex Mighty, yeah, if you check out my previous, like literally from Saturday, I do a full breakdown of my workflow from sketch or from photo to final output. So if you're interested in that, and if you're interested in seeing how my workflow is, I definitely recommend you check out that for sure. All right, so her butt will sit somewhere here, just so you know, not here because that's the crotch line. The butt muscle usually sits just underneath the crotch line, like that. Yeah, world building, yeah, sick. So I'll talk about that. I might, because I plan on making a dedicated Black Curtain channel soon. I already have it launched, but I haven't got anything on it. But basically the idea is it will be where I publish anything related to Black Curtain, like films and featurettes and stuff like that. All right, let's just get this middle line down here. This middle line here is really important because it establishes the balance of the character. Now notice how much straighter she is compared to the last character because she's meant to be quite confident and quite strong. Yeah, for sure. So I'm trying to get some really good bulk in there in the thighs as well. And then her knee will sort of cut off there and then sort of come into her calves. Now her calves come in like that. Now I'll probably end up using some anatomy reference for this character somewhat. So I got a book for that to make it easier for me in the future. Yeah, thank you. Cheers. Appreciate it, Olera. So what I plan on doing, I was going to make a bigger, like multi-part series for modeling characters, but I found that it didn't differ enough from my old ones. So what I plan on doing is more, when it comes to character-based stuff, it will be based on certain topics. So if I'm doing a character that is big or small, or whatever, I'll probably talk about it in that light, and then talk about the differences in methodology you may want to try. So in terms of those sort of tutorials, those big, long multi-parts, I feel like in terms of topology, what I've covered already is sort of, it's fine. So what I plan on doing is stuff like this, where I'll do a full character, then talk about certain aspects that I've changed from that to make it work for this character. Because I feel like otherwise I'm just repeating it, and I don't think it's going to benefit all that many people. Been using Blender for 4 or 5 days, so really looking forward to seeing how this. Yeah, awesome. If you're interested, Blockbell, in seeing this workflow or seeing a workflow, I literally just published a video on my 100% workflow using Blender. It's about 45 minutes long, and it goes through everything, like overall, as to like how I generally work out my stuff in Blender. And then if you want to check out even more stuff, there's a full sort of tutorial series on retopology and stuff on my YouTube channel. So I feel like in this case, her thighs need to be longer. So I think women tend to have longer thighs than men. I think. Although some research otherwise, women do not usually have, okay, not longer legs. I'm looking for thigh proportions. Female thigh proportions. Let me see. Female thigh proportions. It's always good to look this stuff up. The problem is that when you look at reference for women or men, really, it's always in this idealized state. So it's always, you always end up drawing the same, and always end up drawing the same bloody character over and over again. Actually, let me just try something. Here's a little trick, by the way. If you find a 2D caliper like this for golden ratio, you can figure out your yeah, same face syndrome, yeah, for sure. You can find out the ratio of something. So let me just try and find one. Golden ratio caliper Illustrator file, vector file. I think this one will do fine. So I'm looking for a caliper. You'll understand why in a second. All right. So yeah, sorry, just trying to find something. Just need a diagram. Copy. All right, cool. So copy image. So what I'm going to do is use what is called a caliper to figure out my proportions in terms of ratio. So it will help me sort of break it up a little bit to get the right ratio. Hold on, let me just see legs golden ratio as well. Legs golden ratio. All right. All right, so it does kind of apply, kind of. All right. So what I'm going to do is grab a new file, grab this image, and I just want to grab this part here. So what I'm going to do is just live trace this. And grab that. All right. I'm going to expand that image. Actually, let's before we do that, let's do image trace. Oh, image trace with options. Preview, remove black, remove white. Where are we? Ignore white. Where are we? It should be here. Ignore color. There we go. Thank you. And then we're going to expand that out. And then ungroup all the bits. And all I want is this bit here. All I want is this. Copy that. All right. So if you don't know what I'm doing, bear with me. You'll understand. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. All right. So this little caliper. I'm hearing cats. Cat counter. All right. Hold on. Come on. Over here. Come on. All right. So this little caliper, by the way, will help me determine the length of something. So what I can do is free transform, rotate this, and the idea is to just see, okay, it's not too bad. See where my proportions are. So if I do this and scale it up, you'll see that my torso and my legs on a proportion basis is in the golden ratio. So here's a little trick. So if you're ever having trouble with your proportions and understanding whether or not to get it right, just grab one of these little caliper diagrams and then just see how the proportions are looking. So it's looking pretty good to me. So as for the thighs, I'm not sure if I even have to do that. Let's see what the proportion is for the thighs. And also you can do it with the face, by the way. If you want to, these aren't realistic proportions by any means, but if you want to test out the proportions of your torso to your body, you can see whether or not, you can see whether or not the proportions work. So the proportions to the face to the torso is sitting within the golden ratio. It's pretty cool. I learned this on a video on YouTube for about 3 years ago, and it's fucking such a good little video, such a good little tip. But yeah, one of the other things was just to see whether or not the thighs. So what I would normally do is just see whether the thigh should be longer or shorter. So just double checking. So in a length regard, in the length, it's not too bad. I would probably shorten the I want to shorten the calf. Yeah, I could probably shorten the calf, but if I bring it down to here where the interface of the leg is, that could also work. I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna live with it because I can always break the proportions if I have to. I'm just wondering about the proportion length of the female thigh to the okay, thigh wise it's about even, I think. I need to find something like that when I do character design. Yeah, it's awesome. So also just generally just okay, so generally speaking, my thigh versus my shin is a little bit, my thighs are too long, too short versus my shin, I reckon. So at the face, at the hips. So I'm just judging. Yeah, I think my thigh should be, my feet should be shorter. All right. So I'm going to actually shorten both of those parts of the diagram. I always end up doing that too. I always end up making the shin way longer than the then the thigh. So what I'm going to do is free transform like that. That feels better already. Yeah, that feels way better already. And then I'm going to lengthen the leg back down. That feels much, much better. So it actually was good that I did this, actually. Yeah, that feels a lot better. Yeah, much better. Yeah, that's much better. Cool. I'm going to do the same thing on the front view too. So yeah, this is the nice thing about doing model sheets, is that it helps you break down your shapes a bit better as well. Oh yeah, that's way better. Holy shit. Okay, that feels much nicer already than that. That feels much nicer. She feels bulkier too, which is awesome. Yep, I'm liking that. That looks much better. Okay, cool. So that's looking pretty sweet. Yeah, the perspective always makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference because you can't really avoid it, especially when you're doing a character for 3D. But yeah, I'm not gonna bother about the arm. I'm just gonna put a hole where the arm would be normally, just to get a sense of that. And then just, yeah, where the bra will sit. She kind of reminds me of a Street Fighter character or a Mortal Kombat character, but I ain't complaining. Yeah, the caliper is really useful. So as for what kind of top she's wearing, it's not going to be a bikini. It's just going to be like a sports bra. Let's just bring down the opacity on that. All right, cool. Let's get a little bit of squish in there anyway. Yeah, cool. That feels better. And the mask will sit all the way down on the neck like that. That's it. That's what I want. And these will kind of go like this, almost like sunglasses. That's the idea, at least with this design. Two straps, one at the back of the head, one around the base of the neck, and then some bulk of hair. And it kind of comes out like that. Something like that. Yeah, it does. I think it was I found one from a YouTube video. That's where I found mine. And then for the hair, it's sort of going to stick out like from the top out. Even then, just drawing that little line will help. So yeah, I'm being pretty rough still with this, but I think it'll work pretty well. And I want this to sort of, yeah, sit behind the head. And I'll probably do this part with geometry nodes because it has that cool braid feature with the hair nodes. And you can see the length is in the wrong spot now, so I need to shorten out this braid. So you also have to make sure it's on model between both the side and the front. So something like that. There we go. All right. And I probably would even bring this like this way to increase the silhouette strength. So here, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Like that. And then increase the angle of that. Fuck's sake. So something like this. Rotate, mate. There we go. That looks better. And then just increase the length of that, like so. That feels better. Yeah, so going along those lines is going to look pretty good. She's meant to have pretty strong delts and traps and all those sort of things. So I'm going to keep the back pretty bulky. And then where the bikini line is, like so, that's where you'd see the underwear come up like so. Now, one of the things that a lot of people misunderstand is that you're always going to get a little bit of shape in there. So this is going to be like a stepped shape. So shape for the rib cage, shape for the ab, shape for the lower abdominals. And then we have our area here for the bum. And now this is going to have a little bit of a shelf there for the lower back, where it's sitting on the hip bone. This is where that hip dip would be. And then we've got to have some butt. There we go. Now again, this is a egregious character on purpose. It's meant to be over the top. So she's meant to be just jacked in every regard. All right. Hey, dude. How you doing? New fan, thank you for joining. Let me rephrase that. So, where's the part that Oh, so in terms of the caliper, yeah, you sort of choose segments. So if you were to sort of judge proportion, you can judge it in any given regard. So however, whatever segment of the body you want to sort of figure out some sort of golden ratio proportion. So for instance, the proportion between the head and the torso can be done with the golden ratio. You can also figure out whether or not maybe the golden ratio between the head and the bottom half of the body is meant to sit. But generally speaking, you would do a golden ratio of head relative to torso, and then torso relative to leg. And then you can also do even between, say, eyes. So for instance, if you want to do golden ratio between head height, you can do golden ratio between the eyes and the mouth and the chin, and see where they're meant to sit, or eyes, nose. So where the tip of the nose is relative to the eyes, relative to the chin, what would be the best ratio? So you can do that too. So that's how you can do that. That's what the calipers are good for. Oh, well, thank you very much, Laura. Cheers. New sub? Yeah, go for it. Any support is good support for me. I'm trying to make this a full-time thing. I'm trying to move away from being like a freelance artist to being a commission artist. So not commission artist, a filmmaker. So any support would greatly be appreciated. All right, cool. So we got that going on there. I think in terms of like overall layout, that's looking pretty good. What I will do though is just quickly do a flip to see if she's leaning a bit too far forward. I don't think she's leaning too far forward, but what I might do is grab this part here, free transform, bring it down to here, and just do a slight tilt. And then redraw that middle line. And yeah, that feels a lot better. That's a lot better. Straight up. All it takes is a bit more practice and you'll be flying. That's it. Like, just be dedicated and don't worry about your drawing quality. No one else is going to see it. Just keep practicing. You're good. All right, sweet. So, in terms of this, I'll probably have it sort of sticking out. Just a little bit. So this is the hard part with these hexagonal things. It's just getting that shape to work. Now again, it depends on how far forward I want it to be, but let's just go with a little bit more perspective in there. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to be at least kind of looking okay. All right, so yeah, this will do. And I can always fix this up in 3D anyway, so it doesn't matter. There we go. That will do fine. Not perfect, but it'll do fine. All right, there we go. Looking pretty cool. I might actually add a little bit of reference. So her shoulders, at least, get those shoulders in there. And the rest can come pretty quickly, I reckon. So I'm going to do shoulder. Now her bicep is there. Let's get that tricep in there. Yeah, this is good. Feeling pretty good. There we go. Tricep. And now it's kind of hard because it's, in this case, getting the length right. Oh, right. Her shoulder's really hot low there. Fuck it. This feels better. So it's going to be an in-between. No worries. Thank you, Drewster, for the good word. Yeah, the chin and the nose, they're all meant to be part of a mask. So they're not going to be they're not actually going to be visible, so to speak. Yeah, I'm not going to be drawing those because it's going to be in a mask. Yeah. So her hips there. I'm just going to draw it as I see fit. So fuck it. So there's her elbow. Let's just get her. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not going to draw the entire arm there. I'll leave it at that. Cool. Okay, I think we're good for reference. I think that's going to be enough to work with in 3D. So I'm just going to bring up the scale, the reference there. Let's bring up the front view there, side view, and just put that to the side like so. There's one thing I will do before I wrap it up though, is I'm going to turn on symmetry once more. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to go and, all right, cool. So think I'll have to go. But next video, next morning, I'll probably have the blocking done, and I'll probably have a few other things done for tomorrow. So again, I gotta wrap it up. A little bit short today. We have a woken up little girl, so I gotta keep it. I gotta give her the attention she needs. So thank you for watching. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be a 2-hour one. We'll see. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see how we go. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe I'll just pop on and start streaming randomly some other time. But yeah, enough of that. I will let you guys go. Thank you for watching. It's been really fun. Made some really great progress this morning. And cheers. I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, no worries. New one coming hopefully this week as well. All right, catch up.